We all have moments when life feels heavy. Stress, worry, loneliness, frustration, and most of us have a go-to way of taking the edge off. Maybe it's grabbing a snack when you're not really hungry, scrolling social media, shopping online, or even throwing yourself into cleaning or your work so you don't have to think about it. That's buffering, and it's not about the food or the scrolling or the shopping itself. It's about using those things to sidestep an emotion that we don't want to feel. But buffering always comes with a cost. It does take the edge off the emotion for a few minutes, but it doesn't actually solve the sadness or the stress that we're trying to avoid in the first place. Instead, we just end up stacking something else on top of it, maybe guilt or regret or just not feeling good in your body afterwards. So now we've got the original feeling that we were trying to escape, plus the new problem added on. In this episode, we'll talk about why buffering feels so appealing in the moment, why it always leaves us with more to deal with afterward, and how you can start facing feelings instead of escaping them. Welcome to Feel Better, Live Better. I'm your host, Stephanie Bridges, and each week we talk about simple ways to fuel your body, free your mind, and create the energy and confidence you need to live well. Let's get started. Buffering makes sense when you understand your brain. Your brain's job is to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. So when you feel something like stress, worry, loneliness, your brain's first thought is to get away from it. And what's the fastest, easiest way? Usually sugar, shopping, social media, Netflix. For some people, it might be alcohol, drugs, pornography, video games, lots of different things we use to escape feeling. Those things give your brain a hit of dopamine, and your brain's like, oh my gosh, that worked. That was great. But that dopamine hit is concentrated pleasure. It's so strong that it dulls us for the smaller pleasures of life, like enjoying a walk, eating a healthy meal, or having a real conversation. The brain's just misinformed. It thinks buffering is the solution, but it isn't. So food is one of the biggest buffers I see in the women that I coach. Maybe you're not even hungry, but you're stressed, and suddenly the chips in the cupboard are calling your name. And for a few minutes, the taste and texture distract you. But then the stress is still there, and now you've got guilt piled on top of that. Shopping does the same thing. You feel anxious, you click that buy now button and get that little hit of pleasure. But then the bill comes and you have to deal with regret. Social media is a big one too. You're lonely, so you scroll and it feels like connection. But what you really needed was to call a friend or spend some time with someone actually in person. Even things like work or exercise can become buffers if you're using them to avoid emotions instead of because you genuinely want to do them. Something so interesting is that we tend to justify our own buffers and judge other people's. We think, at least I'm not playing video games all day like my husband, while he might be thinking, well, at least I'm not eating the whole container of ice cream. So we all buffer. The only question is it helping you or hurting you? So remember when I said buffering comes with a cost? It feels like it works for a moment, but it always creates a net negative. I don't want to feel stressed, so I eat cookies. But now I feel disappointed in myself on top of feeling stressed. I don't want to feel anxious, so I scroll on my phone for a while, but then I feel like I wasted my time and I'm still anxious. So, buffering doesn't remove the original emotion, it just delays it and layers guilt, shame, or physical consequences on top and gets us caught in a cycle. So, if buffering doesn't get rid of the feeling, what do we do instead? First, we want to be aware. Just start noticing when you're buffering. You don't have to stop it right away. Just call it out for what it is. Second, we want to understand what's really happening in the moment. What you're feeling is an urge. An urge is simply an emotion paired with desire. It's not an emergency, but your brain often treats it like it is. Instead of fighting the urge or giving in, practice just sitting with it. Notice where you feel it in your body. Is it in your chest, your stomach, your hands? Remind yourself this is not dangerous. It's just a sensation in my body. And third is to plan with your prefrontal brain, the part that knows your long-term goals and what matters most. If you want dessert, plan for it. Then it's not buffering, it's a choice. You might decide, I'm going to this birthday party and I'm going to have a piece of cake. Or I'll spend 20 minutes scrolling after work and then I'm going to put my phone away. That's you choosing on purpose, not escaping. And the fourth, we want to clear the deeper beliefs. That's where I bring in subconscious release technique, because so often the buffer is sitting on top of a belief like life is too stressful or this is just the way I handle things. When you clear those, that urge to buffer loses so much of its power. So let's jump into our subconscious release clearing for today before we go any further. If you haven't ever done this with me before, it's super easy. I will say deep breath in. You take a breath in and you hold it. While you're holding your breath, I'll say the statement. You repeat it silently in your mind and then you breathe out. And that's it. All right, deep breath in. I release all irritation with negative emotions are a problem. Deep breath in. I release all judgment with negative emotions are a problem. Deep breath in. I release all pain with negative emotions are a problem. Deep breath in. I release all blocks to feeling with negative emotions are a problem. Deep breath in. I release all blocks to happiness with negative emotions are a problem. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in. I release all fear with it's not safe to feel what I'm feeling. Deep breath in. I release all nervousness with it's not safe to feel what I'm feeling. Deep breath in. I release all stress with it's not safe to feel what I'm feeling. Deep breath in. I release all blocks to trust with it's not safe to feel what I'm feeling. Deep breath in. I release all blocks to calm with it's not safe to feel what I'm feeling. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in. I release all overwhelm with if I let myself feel it, it'll be too much. Deep breath in. I release all anxiety with if I let myself feel it, it'll be too much. Deep breath in. I release all unpredictability with, if I let myself feel it, it will be too much. Deep breath in. I release all worry with, if I let myself feel it, it will be too much. Deep breath in. I release all blocks to security with, if I let myself feel it, it will be too much. And deep breath in and out. All right, so we're going to do a couple of fill ups so that we can fill up that space. So we do this the same way. Deep breath in. I'm so happy and grateful. I can slow down and be present with what I feel. Emotions are safe to experience, and I'm learning to let them move through me instead of trying to fix or escape them. Deep breath in. I'm so happy and grateful. I'm strong enough to handle discomfort, and the more I allow it, the more peace and trust I create within myself. And deep breath in and out. All right. I see so much anxiety and depression today, and a lot of it comes down to the fact that we're not learning how to feel our feelings. We think sadness, loneliness, frustration, feeling anxious means something's wrong, so we try to escape. But the emotions that we're running from, we're actually still feeling, only with that extra baggage added on. And now the emotions are trapped in our body and yelling even louder for our attention. It's like holding a beach ball under the water. You can only hold it there for just so long before it pops up. I often tell my clients, you're always getting better at something. You're either getting better at buffering, like eating chocolate chips every night, or you're getting better at feeling disappointment and letting it pass. So which one is going to help you the most? All right, so buffering is how we escape feelings we don't want to feel, but it always comes with a cost. It's not the food or the shopping or the phone or whatever that's the problem. It's why we're using them. And what I want to emphasize is you can't start changing a buffer and making other choices if you don't even see it. So the first step is always simply paying attention to when it shows up so you can decide what you want to do with it. So your challenge this week is to notice one buffer that you tend to go to, and just one time, don't give in to it. Instead, pause and ask yourself, if I don't buffer right now, what emotion is coming up? And here's why this is so powerful. When we don't run to our usual buffer, the very feelings we've been trying to avoid start to surface. The worry, sadness, loneliness, stress, it all comes up because it finally stopped getting stuffed down. And I know that can feel scary, but most of us have spent years trying not to feel those emotions. But you know what? That is the path to healing. Facing what's underneath instead of numbing it. That's what allows it to move through you. You suddenly realize it's not going to destroy you. It's just a feeling. And every time you let yourself feel instead of buffer, you're teaching your brain and body that you can handle it. That's how you're going to build trust with yourself. And that's how you step into more peace and freedom instead of staying stuck in the same cycle. And that's how you ultimately take charge of your own life. So thank you so much for being here today. I would love to hear in the comments how this was helpful to you. And be sure to grab my free guide, 7 Daily Habits That Can Solve 80% of Your Problems. I'll leave the link for you in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today on Feel Better, Live Better. If you're ready to take the next step, be sure to go to my website, livingthebestyou.com. You'll find free resources and the support you need to accomplish your goals. And if this podcast connects some dots for you, please follow and share with a friend. Until next time, remember, when you feel better, you really do live better.